Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about Survivor 41. It's back after 16 months, you guys.
It's here. Survivor is here. It is happening. It is live in, in America, but in Fiji and not live. But here we are.
This is so exciting. It's so nice to have this back on the screen.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support us at that link. You can click it in the description. Join us over there. I think we're going to have some new content over there soon on the Patreon exclusively.
That's right. Whenever Big Brother wraps up, we love to do Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. My night is just starting.
Yeah.
But we like to do exclusive content over there. So join us. And as always, check out the merch.
Yeah.
And as always, I forgot to name us Sarah and David.
She's always leaving me out. It's David Erasure is what it is.
It is. It is.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hello, everybody. I know that some of our folks are probably watching Big Brother right now.
Yes,
but we had to hop on.
That's right.
Get into this Survivor because we are too excited to wait.
We know that there's Big Brother content happening right now, but we have to put our Big Brother content on hold because Survivor is back, and we had a 2-hour premiere that David and I are going to break down. We're going to talk about. Jeff is telling us it's a new era. It's different.
Drop the 4, keep the 1. This is a brand new start for Survivor.
You know what? It is. It does feel different.
It does. It really does. They have it's not like they're totally reinventing it, but there's some twists and turns, and they are switching things up on these castaways. So it's fun.
It was very cinematic. Yeah. The way that they were giving us background stories on the castaways, very different vibe, but I like it because we had the 2 hours. Yes. Yeah. Give us these moments so we can learn these people.
Mm-hmm. We need to learn them because turns out we didn't know their names necessarily going into this.
Oh my God. Name changes.
All of a sudden there's an Abraham. And I'm like, could have sworn that guy's name was Eric. Turns out we looked it up. It's Eric Abraham, but it's no explanation of he goes by his last name.
Yeah. Know? And Jairus is now JD.
Yeah.
Chantel is Shan.
Yeah, they call her Shan. David Voce goes by Voce.
Yeah, so I was like, well, these are not the names I drafted, but we'll get used to it. We're going to love it. It's fine. We love all of you guys on Survivor, all you castaways, so it's all good.
Yeah.
The very first up, right? We're on a boat.
Yeah.
Like usual. We've got everyone there together. They're already put into their 3 tribes. So we don't get a lot of understanding how that happens.
Right, because there's no theme of brains versus beauty versus brawn or anything this season. It just seems to be random tribes.
Right, if there was a schoolyard pick or something, we don't get that. But that's okay.
Yeah.
They're on a boat, and Nasir gets to tell us about his story about not speaking English, learning it from the show. And it's always interesting to see who gets these little moments at the top.
I'm looking I'm overanalyzing, but as a seasoned viewer, I like to consider myself. I'm who's getting the backstory?
Yeah.
Because those producers, they got to get the backstory in before somebody goes home, right? So Nasir getting this story about how he learned to speak English by watching Survivor or whatever it is. I'm not good, bad sign. And then Heather's sharing a story about watching about their family for 20 years. I'm don't tell people that. I'm overthinking everything.
Right. You have just put a target on your back. They're voting you out immediately.
Right.
Is how I'm thinking it. But that's not true because Christian notoriously had this moment.
True.
It's sometimes the people who are going to make it to the end.
Yeah.
So it's not always dangerous.
It's true.
But but you get it.
I know. We try to read into the edit, and you usually read into it wrong, but I'm just nervous. Yeah, we overread for sure. But one of the changes that Jeff explains right off is you're not getting as many supplies this time around.
That's right.
It's a shorter game. We are not giving you rice. We're not giving you food. You've got to earn your flint and your supplies, and 2 of the tribes aren't going to get them. It's a challenge right off the bat, and 1 tribe is going to get flint and supplies to take to camp.
Yeah.
It's rough.
So guess what, guys? We're going to dive into the ocean with our oars. You got to find your oars. You got to get on your boat. And then
unhook the boat.
You might want to unhook it in the front and the back.
Uh-huh.
You go around your buoy, you
Yes.
come on back, and that team is going to win supplies. But you know what? First, Jeff has a question. He wants to just check in with everybody. There's a lot of changes happening in the world.
Yeah.
And Jeff would like to evolve with the world.
Right.
And so, hey, how do you feel about come on in, guys?
As a phrase is guys exclusive, right? So we get Evie speaking up, I think first.
Yep.
And she's like, listen, as a queer person and as a woman, like, I don't feel excluded. It's just kind of like conversational, colloquial. People just use that word as a general thing. You know, I will say, like, it's very much a personal preference, this thing. I do try to be conscious of that. Like, if I'm talking to two women, I'll say, like, what do you two ladies think? Like, I'll try to be conscious of, like, gender things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't find that women are, like, offended if I, you know, say guys. Like, I don't know. It's a very personal thing.
I agree. I used to wait tables, and I'm so used to going up to a table and being like, hey, guys.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
And there were definitely times where I thought, don't do that. Say something else. Just be more inclusive. I felt like in this moment, it was like, really, Jeff? Is this just the easiest thing you guys could come up with to look woke?
Right.
Like, has anyone said it? I'm on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm in the hashtags.
Yeah.
I missed it if people were like, stop saying come on in, guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being an issue.
Well, and it's also
but here
like,
we are.
There have been bigger problems.
There have, and there are.
So guys is kind of, it's like over here, you know?
I feel like it's like, no, guys, look, I just said guys.
Yeah.
He's like, we're making changes. Don't yell at us.
Yeah.
Remember when we took out guys?
Right.
But at this moment, we're going to circle back to this moment. But at this moment, keep it in. It's iconic for Survivor. No big deal.
And yeah, Jeff like opens it up. He's like, okay, Evie's cool with it. Anybody else? Like, I want to, you know, I'm open. I'm open to whatever you guys think. Nobody really says anything here.
Yeah.
So then they're into the challenge, right? And like Sarah said, you got to find those paddles first. That's the key. And Yasa can only find 5 of their 6. And I am curious if they had it a little harder because their 6th paddle was under some yellow. They're the color yellow, right? And their yellow paddle is under a pile of yellow rope. I don't know where was the blue paddle under a pile of blue rope, you know? Feels maybe like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the struggle was, but it was kind of up and away and under yellow stuff. So they struggled to find it. They're literally just looking while the other 2 tribes have made it into the water, but only one tribe is making it out.
Making any progress.
Into the water.
Because Luvu's first out, right?
Yeah.
Blue tribe. They're paddling along, making progress. And then all of a sudden, they're not moving.
And they're like, we're not moving. And we are like, why are they not moving? And Jeff's like, it looks like you're not moving.
And I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. I literally said to Sarah, oh, there's a weird current. Like, that doesn't make any sense. There would be a current for everybody. And then I'm also like, oh, the Ua tribe, they're so much more coordinated with their paddling. It's like,
they did seem that way.
There's a bigger problem, though.
The biggest of problems is that they never unclipped the back. They are going to spin their wheels literally in the water while Ua
loops around.
They're like, are we the only one doing this challenge?
Yeah.
Is it just us?
They finish. And then like right after they finish, Yasa finally sees their last oar. And I think it's Liana who like, she's like, I'm going to get this dang oar out from under this rope. And Jeff's like, it's over. But, you know, good for you, fighting till the end. And then at this point, Jeff is like, so Luvu, I don't think y'all unclipped from the back. Like, you know, you had to wait till the challenge was over to give them the intel. But they were like, oh, that makes sense. That's why we weren't moving. Okay.
Well, that's the way to start Survivor, guys.
Yeah, right. A little embarrassing.
Good. Well, Ua's going to get on back to their camp. And they're feeling good. They got their supplies. They're feeling happy. JD just dives into making fire.
And then he's
They're
like,
set.
woo! Made fire, day 1 on Survivor. Yes! I did it. And I'm like, JD, zip it. Like, just be helpful and be quiet about it. You know, it's really not a good idea to publicize all the amazing things you're doing, especially building fire.
Yes. I mean, it's appreciative, but
Yeah.
be like, shh about it.
Ooh, I got lucky.
Lucky,
Ooh, wow,
got
yeah.
so lucky. That you just got so lucky. That's all.
Uh-huh.
Now we're going to start at Yasa, but both Yasa and Luvu have to make this decision. They see sweat or savvy.
Right.
Okay. How scary do triangles have to be to make you want to trudge for 4 hours carrying water all over an island?
Where the tribes split up, like, it just seems like a bum deal to have to do this water for 4 hours. 2 people are separated from the rest of the tribe the entire time. My immediate thought would be like, what are these other 4 people talking about? Now they're in the majority and they're like plotting against me, hauling this water back and forth. And you also have 4 hours to figure out the triangles with everybody on the tribe helping solve it.
Right. It didn't have to just be one person doing the
Yeah.
triangles. You could have discussed it, right? I feel like within 4 hours, they could have figured out.
But you get one guess. So I think they're like, ugh, it's so, what if we get it wrong? It's too risky.
It's true.
And I think it's on Yasa, right? Xander,
Yeah.
who just is willing to volunteer for anything at this point. He's like, well, look, he looks at Voce. He's like, you and I could do it. And Voce is like,
No.
leave me out of it. I don't want to do this.
Coach is like, I absolutely want to do the triangles.
Yeah.
What are you talking
I want
about?
to stay with the tribe and strategize with people. I do not want to be left alone with you the whole time. But he can't protest too much because that paints a target on your back, you know?
He did the right thing. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they have to trudge off together. Yeah. And it did not look fun.
It's also, to me, like, seems, because the strategy here, because Luvu ends up making the same decision. They do the sweat challenge, right?
Yeah, but they don't even talk about it. They're like, we got this, bye.
Deshaun and Danny ready to go.
Yeah.
Both tribes send their strongest members out to do this challenge. And I'm like, what is the logic here? You're sending your 2 strongest members out and tiring them out before the first immunity challenge.
Look, we have a shortened season, but all that means is you have less days off.
Yeah.
Like, they took their 2, like you just said, the 2 strongest that you probably are going to rely on here in some of these immunity challenges.
Yeah.
Wore them the F out in this very first day. And guess what? You don't have a rest day. Like, this is it. You're into it.
Yeah.
Here for 26 days.
So that's the decision that both of those tribes have made. So those pairs are off, starting to get the water. Then we're sort of getting to know more people in between as these, things are happening, as these challenges are going on, because it's 4 hours of lugging water. So we get to know a little bit about Ricard. Mm-hmm. Ricard met somebody and married them 37 days later.
Nope, that's too fast, Ricard. First off, Ricard is already adopting and then gets married in 37 days. These are life choices. I'm terrified. I just got anxiety thinking about your life, Ricard.
And now Ricard tells us that he's left his 22-month-old child with his pregnant partner.
Yes.
And I'm like,
it's
why did you leave? Are you sure you should have left? Like, I know it's $1 million, but now?
Yes. He will do whatever he has to do for $1 million. I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
But like, I was getting stressed out by that. But I did love Ricard's vibe.
Yeah.
Was there anything, I didn't write any of this stuff down. Was there anyone else that we got to know?
Well, then it's Nasir busting Deshaun and Danny.
That I wrote down because Danny and Deshaun are like, while we're out here, let's look for an idol.
Yeah. Right, take some time, look around.
He did not know that Nasir was going to be checking in on him.
Yeah. Like, well, Nasir's like, I just went to see how it was going. Yeah, right. You're like and making sure, you know what's what. So Nasir, though, I think plays it a little too strong here. And he sees them looking for the idol, but he just runs back to camp with that information. And he's like, they're looking for the idols. I'm confident that they are not going to finish that water thing. And it's going to be because they were looking for this idol. And so clearly we have to target Deshaun or Danny. And it's like, Wow, that's a lot. You just did a lot. You laid a
It
lot
was a
out
lot.
there.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Hi, Willa James.
Oh, hi.
Hi, neighbors.
I haven't seen them forever.
It has been a while. Except not really because I see them out on the street. Yeah, so Nasir is like, we're not going to talk any strategy while Danny and Deshaun are gone. Guess what? I just went and spied on Danny and Deshaun. They're looking for an idol.
Yeah.
It's time to vote them all out right now. Like
Yeah.
he just went from 0 to 100,
Yeah.
like in no time.
And Sydney and Erica, they're like playing along. They're like, whoa, okay, looking for idols. Yikes. The two strongest guys in the tribe are looking for idols, and they're going to try to pick off the weak players. Okay, I guess we 4 weak players need to, team up and get one of them out. They're like I think they're like humoring him a little bit, not wanting to commit to any one way too strongly, but
no, nor should you at this moment.
Right.
No, be like, oh, okay, good information.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jeannie had a good segment. She's been married 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful the way that she was like, I didn't even know how to tell my mom. It was going to be so hard. And then her mom's just like, here's a diamond.
Here's jewelry.
Go for it. Love ya. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
So lovely. I really did love that they gave us these moments so that we could get to know people since we have the time. Do it, please.
Then we've got more strategizing on, I believe, is it the Yasa tribe with Evie and Liana?
Yes. Over at Yasa, we see Voce and Xander struggle bosses.
Yeah,
this was so hard. Why did they choose to do this?
I know.
But then Levy. Oh my God, that's their their couple name.
Yeah.
Liana and Evie.
I do like Eviana too. That's cute.
Well, I didn't accidentally say that. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can say that one.
Okay. So they're teaming up, and I actually like this team up. I like their personalities
love
together.
Yes.
Enjoying, I just like them individually. So I'm like, yes, please be together. And you can be a little strong, little twosome. We love to see it. Then we get Abraham throwing Tiffany under the bus a little bit. He's like, well, she jumped into the water to find our paddles, and then she just sat in the boat, did nothing. So dead weight, get her out of here. And then we get a really amazing package about Tiffany where she talks about being a previver. She had the gene that, makes you more susceptible or like maybe guaranteed to like eventually get ovarian cancer or breast cancer. So she's like the first person in America to do the like preventative mastectomy, the whole deal. I was like, wow, love this woman already.
Yeah, this is a great story too. This was really I don't want to say cool to hear, but it's a great story to include on this. But so I understand having reasons in your back pocket to target people, deflect off of yourself. Sure.
That's right.
But just like coming out, putting targets on people.
Not a great strategy.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. And sometimes, these alpha males can't help themselves, but to do it. Mm-hmm. So the other one who can't help himself is JD. He is talking game to everybody who will listen. And he's like, I didn't want to come out here and be the one who's talking game all the time, but he is talking game the most.
Literally.
Like probably more than everybody combined.
I think you can just say JD was talking. Like,
truly.
The guy just wants to talk.
Yeah.
He wants to tell a story.
Yeah.
But
he's young.
Since we're playing a game, we're going to make sure that we're gaming the whole time.
Yeah, right.
He was being so very obvious about it all.
Yeah.
But then that leads us to Shan.
Yeah.
Who I really want to just call you Chantel. But okay, Shan, she apparently wants Shan, so I have to respect that.
Okay.
She is like, no, JD, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
She's talking to everyone, but not being as obvious about it, I guess. Doesn't really get noticed.
Right. She's in a lot of conversations, but isn't like dominating any conversation. She's just like an information gatherer, which it seems, which is really good. And she was one of my first picks in the draft. So I'm like, please just, I don't think she's necessarily in the best place, but I was like, okay, she's like a thinker.
Yeah.
She had a weird like evil soundtrack thing, which is like cute, whatever. Okay. I don't know. But I hope that she can kind of keep that up and stay under the radar, but get information from people. But she and JD, I think, have a moment where they're like, it's us. We got each other. And she ends up following through with that.
But at that moment, she had already heard JD's name. And she was like, if I hear your name, I'll tell you. But she didn't. So I was like, I don't think she's completely.
Well, she's like, if I hear your name, I'll tell you. And I ask the same of you. So that's what she's really going for here. She wants him to tell her if her name is being thrown out.
Yes. Yeah, I love that she's a mafia pastor. That's great.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
So both of these tribes are going to finish this challenge. They are
do.
going to practically die, but they are going to get all the water in their buckets.
And they get their supplies.
And there's some dogs barking.
Yes.
Then,
once they're done, Sydney warns Deshaun about what was said by Nasir. You know, like we suspected, he's coming on a little too strong, too fast, and Sydney didn't like it. And so she's like, Deshaun, just so you know, Nasir busted you looking for idols, and he came back trying to target you. You know, she's just filling him in on what's going on there.
So we got a whole thing happening over on that tribe. We got Nasir against Deshaun and Danny, Deshaun now against Nasir. Everyone knows all of it.
Yep.
Love it.
Then there's a message on a boat, right?
A mysterious boat appears.
Yeah. Another change, right? This is a little bit new. Not that we've never seen this before, but it's like day 2 or something. And they're getting a message on the boat, and someone has to go off and leave the tribe to do this challenge, be a representative for their tribe.
Yeah, this feels more international format to me. Like I feel like I've seen this in other countries, but I like it. I like when someone gets pulled away from their tribe and an entire tribe is now like, what?
Yeah.
And are you going to come back and tell us the truth? And do you have an advantage? Like, the paranoia every which way.
And the person who's leaving is paranoid, like, don't strategize without me, and don't think that I'm a liar when I come back. You know, like, it's stressful for a lot of people, but they kind of have to come to an agreement of like who's leaving. Again, Xander, first hand up in the air, ready to go. Danny also volunteers on the Lulu tribe.
That one, though, was harder to get. They were like, who? Yeah. And I think Danny was the one who said rock, paper, scissors. And they still were like, And so Danny was like, all right, I'll go.
I'll just do it. Like, you guys are annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, did Xander raise his hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I'll go.
Okay.
He's ready to do it. He's ready to he doesn't want to spend time with the tribe.
He's a kid.
He's ready to get out of there and do stuff. And then on the Yasa tribe, I'm still getting used to like what tribe is what. But JD's tribe, they go to rocks.
Yeah.
And he draws the white rock. And of course, as a Survivor superfan, he can't believe that he drew the white rock on day 2. And he is off to this island. And then it's very cool shots. Again, the cinematography is great this season, but like these wide shots of all 3 boats racing up to the island at the same time. It's great. I love it.
It was great. So their boats are going to come up. There's like a summit. It says, hey, hike the summit together.
Get to know each other.
Get to know each other.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit from each of them.
It's just sports the whole way up, apparently. They're like...
Yes, but Danny, he downplays his.
He's like, I played in college.
They
were like, we could have sworn you were in the NFL. He's like, what? No,
me?
I run a football program, but I was never in it.
But JD is like, I am the biggest athlete ever.
I am a 2-time state champion in track. Like Xander's like, I run recreationally, and JD's like, I run for trophies and I win them.
Danny's like, cool. I don't play professional sports.
It's all good. It's all good.
When they get to the tap, they are going to each have to go their own way, but they know something's going to be down there. And they kind of hint that they're discussing it, but we don't really get to see what might have been agreed upon or not.
Right. They have some kind of a hint of like,
well, you know,
you're all going to go one way or you're all going to go another way. So they're kind of trying to fill each other out. Like, I think they know there's an advantage at play. And Danny kind of makes a comment. Like, JD says something weird. And Danny's like, so are you going to take the advantage? Is that what you're saying? Like, you know.
They're like, are we all going to do this? Are we? Oh, well, if they answer that, we don't get it. But we do see them like arrive at this sort of wheel type thing or pick a side. Yeah. And basically, we can protect our vote or risk our vote. Now, it took me a minute to even like wrap my head around
It's a lot of like, if this, then this. But if they all protect their vote, then they all keep their vote at tribal council. If they all risk their vote, then they all lose their vote at tribal council. If it's split, those who protected get to keep their vote. Those who risked get an extra vote.
Now, I feel like it was going to be obvious. We took the time to get to know them just in this hike. And one person was clearly a reserved type adult.
Danny.
And he is going to protect his vote. And that
Absolutely.
we do see. And we don't see anything out this turn.
Yeah.
But I am thinking, I'm going to risk a vote.
Yeah.
I bet these kids are.
Oh, yeah.
These kids are just excited to play.
Of course. And I think those kids sussed it out with Danny. They were like, this joker is going to protect his vote. So I'm absolutely going to risk it and get an extra vote at Tribal. So we don't see either Xander or JD do it in this moment. We just see Danny protect his vote.
That's what we get here. But we're quickly going to find out a little bit more. But first, Danny's going to arrive at his camp. And of course, this is the moment, guys, right?
Moment.
Even in David and I are watching the episode together. David's like, what would you say back in the tribe? What would you say though? What would you say?
Because when you come back, when you explain what happened and that there was an advantage up for grabs, your tribe has every reason to say, like, if you come back and you're like, here was the deal, but I said protect my vote. I didn't risk it. I didn't want to take the advantage. Your tribe has every reason to be like, she's lying. She went for it. We need to get her out. You know, so I'm like, what would you say? But Sarah this is why Sarah would be so good in this game. She was like
dead already in this game, but go ahead.
True. But she's like, you got to tell the most truth you can.
Yes.
So
always
as few lies as possible.
Fill your lies with as much truth as possible. So don't change it.
Yeah.
It was protect or risk. Of course I said protect. Of course I went to protect. I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah. Right.
I don't want to lose a vote.
Uh-huh.
It's too early in the game.
Yeah. Well, plus the advantage is that they didn't actually get anything in the moment that they would have to hide. There was no idol or token or anything like that. So, you know, Danny comes back and he tells the complete truth because he actually does have nothing to hide. Xander comes back and also tells the truth. Is it at this moment that we find out?
Well, Danny's the only one that tells the truth. We do find out with Xander because he starts to say, like, he did a pretty good job of being like, I wanted to do whatever was for the tribe. I wanted to get us a reward. He made it sound like getting the extra vote was going to help the tribe.
Yeah.
So he said he went to risk. We see, and they give us the flashback and they show us at this moment. So he's basically being truthful here. I thought his spin was really good because I was like, no, it's just an extra vote for you.
Yeah, right. JD, he spun and he spun and he spun that story.
JD was like, I'm going to give them all the details.
But crazy lies.
So we're out on the boat and the hair is whipping through the air. And I'm like, who are these other people? And we hike up a mountain together. He's like, what's the yarn saying? He's
weaving a yarn.
Weaving a yarn so big and glorious. And then when he gets to the actual stuff, he's like, so the wheel, so it was like a wheel, but so like you could say writ. I was like, what?
He's like, if you all go to writ, if you all go to protect, you all keep your vote. If two of you go to protect, or like then one gets an advantage. Like, but if two say risk, then the state of the.
I was like, how did he become such a storyteller and the worst liar in one sentence? Like,
if he told me that story, I'd be like, can you tell me that again?
You're lying.
Tell me that one more time and give me all the details the same exact way.
Tell me the story. I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. Can you just repeat that? What was that? It was hilarious.
And so, of course, Ricard is like, JD's full of it.
Full of it.
He has an advantage. But the advantage for JD is that he can come back to camp and be like, empty my bag. I'll take off my pants. Like, I got nothing. And that's true. You know, he doesn't have anything to hide physically. That's
a great play to do at this point and be like, I just want to make sure you guys know I didn't get anything here. When you're like, because it's coming to you later, buddy. Oh, that was great. Okay.
Immunity.
Let's go to immunity. And this is the last time you will ever hear. Come on in, guys.
Last time. Let's come on in now because Ricard speaks up and we, heard as part of Ricard's story earlier in the episode that he is married to a trans man. And so I think he's, sensitive to gendered terms like that. And so he's like, you know what? Like, I thought about it and I wish I had spoken up. And so I'm going to speak up now. Like, can we just change it? And Jeff was like, by all means, I want to. Like, great. I'm just waiting for one person to tell me not to say this
We
anymore.
already sat in a room.
Yeah.
We talked about this for days. And then we had to brainstorm on what to change the phrase to. It was a huge part of pre-production. So thank you for bringing it back up. We decided on, come on in. And you know what? That's fine.
Great.
Like,
fine.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, it does matter to Ricard.
It apparently matters, yes.
And Jeff was like, that's kind of cool that you thought about it and we're still willing to bring it up because it is kind of a thing where you're like sticking your neck out. I don't know, it's
right, because
like,
literally everybody else, I mean, there were multiple representatives from the community that said, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And he was willing to say, actually, it's not fine to me.
And it's definitely like, it can be weird to have people being like, listen, this applies to me and I don't care.
Yeah.
And then, so you're sort of like, oh, I guess I shouldn't say anything.
Right.
Right. So it was really, I thought it was great that
Look,
he had
we
the
don't get
courage to-
anywhere in life if we don't speak up and say
That's right.
stuff. So, so here it is. Come on in. That's what it's going to be.
Perfect.
Now we learned something new.
Another new thing. Shot in the dark. It's
Die.
a dice, right?
Mhm.
Or a die. I always forget what's
It's a
the
die,
plural.
David.
Singular.
Mr. Yale.
Everybody gets one of them dice. And this is where they roll. They'll have one chance to roll at tribal for a chance to draw for safety.
I mean, it's a bit layered.
What do they have to roll?
They're going to roll the die.
Okay. And the die has to land on a symbol?
Yeah. It's
that allows them to draw.
6-sided. So you have 1 in 6 chance to get the safety or whatever. So you are only going to use it if you are like, I don't have a lot of options tonight. I'm probably going home. So I might as well roll it.
Yeah.
But it's still not a guaranteed safety.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
You roll it. You get a chance to draw. Are you guaranteed safety out of that? Or could you draw like a blank card? Are there odds in drawing? Or are you just drawing out of the thing and they all say safety?
Well, the odd is the 1 in the 6.
Okay. So it's not like there's a 6 pieces of paper in the bag that you're drawing from and only one of them says safety.
Right.
Right? It's the die.
It's
that
the
is
die.
The odds.
Is the odds.
I understand now.
I don't understand the drawing part. So, but the odds are the die.
But when you roll it
Yeah.
and you draw,
that
are
should
you
be
guaranteed safety?
Well,
you tell us,
you
chat.
tell. He said you have a 1 in 6 chance of safety.
So it
So
must
that
be the
has
die.
to be it,
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Max is
What
going to
is
tell
this?
us. They don't roll the die. They trade the die for a chance to pick a piece of paper. 1 in 6 says safety.
Well, why
That
do they have a die then?
does not make any sense.
Give them a
Max.
token to trade in a token.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now Ken is yelling at me. No, nothing is guaranteed on Survivor. That's how I'm reading that.
Please yell at us as long as you have the right information.
And also compliment me. Thank you, Tammy.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
now
then.
we can actually play.
And the other wrinkle here, the die, whatever, die aside. Okay, it doesn't come into play this episode, so we'll worry
I
about it
couldn't
later.
do a token. They ruined fire
Woo!
tokens already, so
They
they had to make it
did.
a die.
Yes. The other wrinkle here is that there's only one immunity up for grabs. In this first challenge, our 2 losing tribes will go to tribal council, and they will also lose their flint. Like salt in the wound,
Seriously, I really think they took this shortening the season just a step too far.
Wow.
You took away their day off and are going to make it so much
brutal.
harder on them.
So brutal.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, of course, it's like a 20,000 step immunity challenge as usual.
Of
'cause
course.
the Survivor
We're going to
producers
go
are-
up and around a net. We're going to drive.
We're
We're
gonna
going to
dig through
dive
sawdust.
into sawdust. We're
Yeah.
going to carry
But
sandbags.
puzzle pieces and then move the sandbags and then
A-
push the
a
thing
sled cart thing.
and then lug it up
Up
ladders.
the hill. Oh my gosh. That
Awful.
looked so awful.
Yeah, I mean, they're all like breathing so hard by the end of
Oh.
this, but the kind of the key piece, they're all kind of neck and neck more or less until Luvu,
Yes.
one of their sandbags falls off the pedestal that it's supposed to land on. It did take Jeff a minute to notice and to tell him to go back.
It sure did.
You know?
Somebody was like, Jeff.
Yeah.
So they're like halfway down with the cart. Then they have to go back, run back or whatever.
Yeah.
Giving
Yasa and Ua, they get the lead.
Well, right. So they're in the lead, but which is the one that gets up the thing first?
I think it's Ua. I don't remember.
Ua gets up. They're on the puzzle first because they fly up that hill fairly well.
Do. Yeah.
Whereas Yasa. Sorry, I wrote it all down in my notes, but it takes me a minute to read it. Yasa, like watching them get it up that hill.
Brutal.
Ooh.
It's tough. And then Yasa's taking so long, Luvu's digging back in.
Mm-hmm.
And they are making up a lot of time, and they eventually get to the puzzle, I think, around the same time as Yasa, right?
Right. So they're all doing the puzzle together, even though, like, is it Luvu has like a little bit of a head start with that? No, Ua, sorry.
Ua has the head start.
They have the head start on the puzzle, but they're all basically right there doing the puzzle.
Right. But Yasa falls behind on the puzzle. It ends up being kind of a two-way race between Ua and Luvu until Ua doesn't have all their puzzle pieces because they didn't empty the bag. And so then Luvu's just kind of pulling ahead. And then Ua, I believe it's Sarah and Shan who are on the puzzle, and Sarah kind of shakes the bag out and realizes like, oh my God, we've been trying to solve this without a piece the entire time. No wonder we've been like moving at a snail's pace. And Luvu just like is on fire and wins. It's Erica and Deshawn on the puzzle for Luvu, and Luvu wins immunity.
Congrats on your first immunity win. That's exciting, and it's really stressful that two tribes are gonna vote someone out.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
Oh, of course, yeah, right. So these losing tribes, Ua and Yasa, they got to give up their flint. Jeff's like, yeah, it's real bad for you right now, but I'll see you at tribal council.
It's so bad. Taking their flint.
And they can't, like, they have to win it back. I don't even think they're guaranteed to get it back. They have to do another challenge potentially to win it back at the next immunity challenge. It's bad.
Oh my gosh.
That's not great.
If there's anyone who can actually make fire, this is going to be. Yeah. But Kathy pointed out in the chat that they do get to bring their torches back from tribal. So that's something.
Yeah. So then we're back at camp.
Okay, let's talk it out. What are we going to do, guys?
Well,
what are we going to vote out?
Evie's crying initially at Yasa.
Yeah.
She's overwhelmed. She was on the puzzle. No, she wasn't on the puzzle.
Yes, she was.
She was.
Evie
she was
and
for
Liana.
Yasa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they really blew it.
Yeah, they did.
So she's, I think, very much like, I'm in danger. This is not good. But it really is not coming down to the puzzle solvers on Yasa. It's more about this like Tiffany Abraham situation.
Has already planted the seeds. He wants Tiffany gone. She's worthless. Did you see her in the boat?
Did you see her? She didn't do anything in that boat. She didn't
do anything in the boat, apparently. Nothing. Well, people, though, are siding with her of like, no, we want to protect you. Let's vote out Abraham.
I think it's because Abraham, he's making some points about we got to keep the tribe strong.
Keep the tribe. Oh my God! If I hear this one more time, I will single
it every single you will hear it. Mm-hmm. So he's making his points, but he's not super likable about it. Like he doesn't seem to be making friends as he's making this argument. Tiffany is making friends as she's hearing that her name is being thrown out there, and she's like, well, listen, I'll do what I got to do. And you tell me who to vote for. And, people just seem to be connecting with Tiffany.
They are.
Much better than they are with Abraham.
They are. When you see Abraham talking, like he's making his points as you would want to do. Yeah. But you're not seeing like a real conversation.
No, this is what's happening. We're going to keep the tribe strong and we're getting rid of Tiffany. End of discussion. That does not work.
Yeah.
Does not work. So, there's people who not only do they like Tiffany a little bit better, I think, they're also kind of thinking like, we're not going to let Abraham call the shots. Like he's kind of doing the Nasir thing where it's like, you're just coming on a little too strong, a little too fast.
But we do see like Voce is like No, I agree with him. Like, we need to keep the tribe strong. Like,
Yeah.
do we really want to lose Abraham?
Mhm.
But then
Yeah.
we see Abby, she like takes the
Oh.
torch and she's like, no, I'm pushing for Tiffany's
Yeah.
side. Let's keep her, you know? And so we do see sort of the roundabout, the conversations are
We
happening
do.
here.
Then we see Tiffany looking for that idol.
Well, good for you for looking, Tiffany.
I said to Sarah, I was like,
yeah.
why would they show us her looking for the idol unless she finds it? This
That's
is
right.
exciting.
Why else would you show us? And then we learned why you were showing us, because Jeff did a little secret scene of, I'm going to put it right here. And then what do you smash cut?
Yeah.
To
Match cut, really, because it's the
looking
same.
at it.
You're just
You're
right
looking at
there. You are literally standing in the spot where Jeff was when he put it in the tree. And you're just like, you almost ran into it with your face.
Yeah.
And you missed it.
Was there nowhere to put your hand? Because Jeff just put his hand somewhere right
it's
there.
almost like she's looking,
right
like
there.
The camera is the idol.
Yeah.
And she's just looking around it. Like every space around, but never quite looks at the idol. You know, it's like, oh God, you poor thing. You don't even know that you're so close.
I know. She misses it. She does not get it. So that stings for Tiffany.
It does. Then we go over to Ua.
Ua.
Now we've got Sarah crying because Sarah was on the puzzle.
Sarah, don't cry, please.
I know. She's just overwhelmed. She thinks she's in danger.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
But Ricard is rallying the votes against JD because JD talks too much. Nobody bought his story, especially not Ricard. And so I think they're all kind of thinking like, he's a lot, this JD.
Yeah, Ricard is definitely, you know, I got my eye on him, not so sure about him. Let's target him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to be getting a big support here for it. Does not seem to be the thing. And then Brad.
Oh boy.
Brad's like, let me show you how to play Survivor.
Because it's Ricard, Chantel, Shan,
and
Sarah.
Talking about voting out JD.
Brad barrels through.
Come on in.
Brad, join us.
Yeah.
Please, let's have a conversation. And I think Shan is like, we're just talking about plans.
Yeah, plans.
And we're thinking maybe JD. Mm-hmm. And he says, in front of 3 other people in the tribe, 4 out of the 6 people in the tribe are in this conversation talking about one of the 2 who aren't. And he says, I don't think it's a good idea to get rid of JD right now.
No.
So they're kind of like, well, who else?
Then who?
Brad.
And Brad's like, one of these 2. This one or this one?
Because he immediately kind of realizes like, ooh, they're right here. So he's kind of like, well, I mean, I think Shan's on the table and Sarah's on the table. And they're like,
oh,
you don't say.
Oh, us?
Okay.
All right. Well, that took this conversation in a different direction.
He was not in game mode. He was not.
Or is he? This is his game mode. He's like, I'll just tell you.
Maybe.
These are who the names are. I mean, there's only 6 of us. What are we gonna do?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that conversation does not go very far. But Brad does take some info elsewhere.
Doubles down. Not only does he tell Shan and Sarah that they are on the table for him in front of their face, he just takes the info right back to JD and says, everybody's saying your name. You're in danger.
Yeah. So, now JD has that info.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And I think Shan is there, right? As Brad is saying this to JD.
Yes.
Again, Shan's just in conversations.
She's just around. In the right place.
She's just
all of the time.
Around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's also, she's like there with JD. She's I don't know, she made that deal with him.
Yeah.
So she's kind of explaining like, I feel like I'm in the bottom because of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I'm in the top because I'm in every conversation.
Yep.
But then I'm also in the middle, like
which way
kind of up to
give
me who's going to go home. Like I can kind of sway things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate where she is, even though her name was brought up, but I don't think
better that it's brought up to her face, I guess, than behind her back,
Good Lord. All right. Well, we're going to go to tribal. We're going to have 2 here. Yeah. The first one is Yasa.
That's right. Abraham. We're keeping this tribe strong.
Tribe strong, guys.
Let's vote.
I'm
ready. Tribe strong. I'm ready to vote.
We got to win immunity challenges. This is what I love about the argument when they come up with this. We have to win immunity challenges. We have to keep the tribe strong. And I'm like, you just lost.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes one person can lose it for you, but rarely does taking out a weak link make you then win. Do you see what I'm saying? Does it make you stronger?
Let me tell you something. The decider on immunity challenges more often than not is the puzzle. It's not the physical activity portion of it. I mean, yes, like you do, that is a huge part, and you can lose a lot of time if you've got a bunch of weak people trying to like swim and lug and blah, blah, blah. Like you need some strength to lug heavy sandbags and things of that nature.
You do.
But it is the puzzle that separates winners from losers, and you don't need strength, physical strength, to figure out a puzzle.
I just think it's funny that your strong people don't become stronger when you vote out the weak. Like I just don't get that logic. But anyway,
good point.
Yes, Shan's music. I saw Rob Cesternino on Twitter call it a shanthem, which was pretty good.
I like that.
Pretty good, Rob.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Good for him.
We do see when they go to vote that Xander gets his extra vote.
Yes, he keeps it.
And it does say, you can read that you can use this down to 6.
Final 6?
That's a long
time to keep that advantage.
Yeah. So he tucks that away. We don't see any votes here. We're going to come back. We're going to read aloud our votes. Mm-hmm. And Abraham, you got all the votes. Just the one you voted for Tiffany.
Just the one for Tiffany and the rest for Abraham. So Tiffany played that social game. And she got him.
I can't believe they got Voce. I thought this was going to be more of a split vote.
Yeah.
I thought it's going to come down one way or the other, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
But they all agreed to take Abraham out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So that's why that tribal was first.
Yes.
In the edit.
Because that
Who
was
knows
simple.
if it happened first? But that was kind of uneventful.
Yeah.
The main event.
Coming
is the Ua tribe.
Well, but they're namaste.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Right?
All good. We're chill.
Oh, yeah. Can't believe how well we get along.
So well.
It's kind of weird.
So well. But also, can we trust JD?
Right. Yeah. Can we trust him?
And then, you know what? Let's do some whisper, whisper, whisper.
Maybe we pivot to Brad. Maybe Brad's a wild card, right? What? It's Shan, Sarah, and Ricard. Interesting to revisit this, knowing how everything turned out. Because you can't help but think are Ricard and Shan playing Sarah in this moment?
100.
Yeah. So they're whisper, whisper, whisper. Should we pivot to Brad? La da da. And JD's he's in the middle of a soliloquy, right? And Jeff is okay, zip it, JD. Does that make you nervous? And JD's yeah. Should we make this a live tribal? Let's go. And he's up out of his seat,
Here's the thing about JD. He wants to narrate everything. And it's you can't narrate what's happening right now. This is all discreet, secret, but it seems, even though it looks like Ricard and Shan played Sarah to make sure she doesn't roll the dice / pull paper, whatever the heck that is, which is a great idea to make sure she goes. But when Ricard walked around and told Brad's name to JD. JD's okay. No, horrible idea, Shan. We're not doing this right. Then they have to have a whole debate. And she must have eventually been no, calm down.
Calm down.
No.
Right. Because he eventually, he's this is a bad idea. And then there's more whisper, whisper, whisper. And eventually JD is just tell me what to do. Shan, she is in the power position.
Yeah.
Right. She's the link to Ricard. JD trusts her and not
trusts
Ricard.
Her a lot, obviously.
So he's because he recognizes that he's in danger. And so I think he's doing the right thing by just tell me how to vote and I'll vote that way. You're really the only person that I can put my trust in this game at this point.
Yeah. Which I thought was interesting to see him have such specific feelings about getting rid of Brad. He did not want to do that, but he was willing to be Shan, I'm with you.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Ultimately, they're all whatever, let's vote.
Well, Sarah's
I'm with you.
Sarah's turning to Shan and Ricard, mostly Shan, I think. Again, Shan's in the power position. And she's do I play the thing? And Shan's do not. No, you're safe. And Ricard's you're safe. You're safe. Do not play the dice. Do not play it.
We're all good. Yeah. Although Brad's should we all just take
Put it in our pocket.
Should we all just do it? Sure. Everybody grabs it. we're all pretending like it's a thing. Jeannie is like, Brad, don't worry, we're not switching our vote.
Mm-hmm.
And JD's like, yeah. But it's a hot
Yeah.
mess, and I'm here for it. I love it, especially on the first tribal.
Oh, absolutely.
These people
A live
are
tribal.
here to play.
Ready for it. Yep.
But these votes went a different way.
They did. JD does get his extra vote. He also keeps that. Nobody rolls the dice.
No.
The die. Whatever.
No one pulls paper.
And then we get Ricard vote, right?
Yes.
Sarah, Brad.
I'm like, we're not on the same page. What are we doing
Who
here?
was voting
people?
for Ricard? It was Brad, Sarah, and JD were the names. Like, where did Ricard come from? Then we get 2 more Sarahs and she's gone.
And she's gone. And then you're like, oh, all of this was just to play Sarah so she did not roll her die.
We were
/
trying
pull paper.
to figure out who voted how, and we couldn't. So we were like, they have to show us. Like, this is not making any sense.
Luckily, they showed us.
I really didn't see it until I saw the votes.
Yeah.
That both Ricard and Shan played Sarah.
Yes.
And then voted
Ricard
for her.
and Shan voted Sarah out along with JD and Brad as planned.
Yeah.
Jeannie is the one vote to get Ricard out. So maybe she did not know what was happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Sarah is obviously the one to get Brad out because that's what she was just looped into.
Yeah. It's tough. Bye,
I mean,
Sarah.
good play though to get Sarah not to roll that die.
Yeah. No, they worked her.
I'm so
that
mad
moment.
that
Yeah.
the one named Sarah is out.
I know. Sorry about that.
She
But
spelled it
she
wrong.
spelled it wrong.
Yeah, she did. That's on her. So it's really on her parents, but
Yeah.
wow.
So that is our premiere.
Okay.
2 hours. Good
Hello.
stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this cast is pretty good. We got some gamers, we got some people
We
willing
do.
to mix things up,
Yeah.
be bold.
And they've been waiting just as long as we have.
I
You
know,
know, like
right?
Erica made the comment at the beginning of the episode where she's like, I was cast pre-pandemic. And then
Right.
it was all ripped away. And like for us to have the second chance to play this game is so amazing. I think they're valuing it even more than they would have if this were on a regular timeline. You know?
Yeah, and then who was it that was a last minute alternate or slipped in? Was that
Who was
Tiffany or Heather?
Oh, I don't know.
It was maybe
One of the
Heather.
ladies? Okay.
Yeah, who was like, I thought wasn't sure if I was going to be cast, and I wasn't. And at the last minute, she did get switched in there.
Huh.
So, Abby says it's Tiffany,
Tiffany.
our pre-Viver.
Yeah, pre-Viber.
All right.
Good for her.
Yes. Okay. Great. We're here. 2 hours. We are here. We love it. So week schedule is every Wednesday after the episode. David and I will be here live for you guys, recapping. Except
next Wednesday.
Just like right now is a little difficult. Right. So
Next Wednesday is the Big Brother finale.
next Wednesday, the Big Brother finale.
So we
will
are going to recap that.
We will do that next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so it will be Thursday when we do the Survivor recap next week. But then we will be back to our regular Wednesday schedule.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But
And
I'm so glad it's back.
Tomorrow will be our normal Big Brother eviction recap episode. And we will also talk about tonight's episode tomorrow for Big Brother.
There it is, you guys. A little bit of overlap, which we're used to.
Yes.
And we will get it all in for you guys.
That's right. So yes, remember to give this video a like. Please, please, please make sure you've got those bell notifications going on.
You need
so
it.
you can join us all season long. We're so excited. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love your insight. We really appreciate it.
And thank you especially for, skipping Big Brother. I know a lot of y'all are Big Brother fans.
So hard.
I'm
So
sure
hard.
you'll catch up. But thank you for joining us live to do that. And then if you're joining us later, I'm hoping there are many of you. Leave us a nice little comment. Let us know what you thought about this premiere. Who are your favorites? Were you particularly sad to see Abraham or Sarah go?
Yes.
Let us know all your thoughts.
Yes. Who are you rooting for?
Yes.
Is there a tribe that you really, really are digging?
Yeah.
Or all the players you like spread out?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I have favorites on all the tribes.
Me
so
too.
I'm excited.
Yep.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.